Welcome back to Newsmaker Live. We're discussing consumer affairs, and you guys are getting a little heat
from all sides. It seems.
From all sides.
It says I are the trade unionist.
I guess you could leave the trade union, but the trade union can never leave you.
Let me make a point, Clinton. I want to respond to the first caller. Especially yesterday was International Labor Day, May Day, Workers' Day. Madam, it's people like you I need to join the NCA. Person like you will not take people's money and waste it, all right? Because all my life, I don't know if you know me, I have worked for free. CSA, L Squared Union, NCA, I don't get a cent. Not even out of pocket allowance I get for doing those works. Credit unions, sports associations, all my life has been voluntary. So therefore the caller, I want you to come and to join me, you're assertive, come and join me. Because people like you who sit on the fence and say others must do for you, all right? I am there trying to do for you. I want you to join me. We need the unity, we need the strength to make a dent in the economy.
We have another call. Please go ahead. Thank you for holding.
Yes,
good evening.
Also relation to your guest.
Can you speak up a little bit, sir?
One of my main problems with the furniture stores.
The furniture stores.
We have a serious problem in this country with people who sell furniture, especially one of our main furniture stores.
Let's not mention names, but you can make a point without mentioning names.
Who sell furniture, especially higher purchase, and at times people have to pay almost 3 times the amount. And you see these things happening for years. I remember, if my memory serves me very well, that some time back, this administration, when it was there before, had a higher purchase act. But I'm not hearing anything. People just keep on just doing anything to consumers now, especially in this area. People go and buy things, and when you see sometimes you pay, as I say, almost 3 times the amount, and people don't do anything. You can't go nowhere. You just have to take it or leave it, because it's the only one of the main stores that do people that, and we need to look into these things, because for me it's happening for too long. People just taking advantage of our consumers.
All right, thanks, caller. And we have I see you just pulled the Higher Purchase Act.
No, it's a Small Claims Court Act of 2008. I wanted to mention it. I want to say that the last government had a Small Claims Court. All right, that not coming to being, but I think that we need to push for it, and the NC is going to push the present regime to promulgate the Small Claims Court Act. What the caller said is talking about high purchase. No, we all know that high purchase is the most expensive form of borrowing.
Yes.
And as a credit unionist, I always tell members, join the credit union, it's cheaper. Come to the credit union and give you. Once you go to high purchase, you say pay 3 times. What are you going to pay? Now that is what we talk about the small print. When you went in there, you signed the form. They did not cheat you. They told you. It's almost like high purchase is almost 24%. So that's what you're going to pay. It's like going to a loan shark. If you go to a loan shark, the man tell you, well, I'll lend you $1. When you come back, give $5. That's the agreement you have demanding. You follow me? So therefore, he does not have a complaint. He is saying basically that he's paying the cost of borrowing for high purchase is high.
But shouldn't there be regulations anyway? As far as higher purchase, shouldn't the government as the regulator step in and say, okay, even though you're borrowing, this is as much as you can take back from a consumer? Because it can't be arbitrary. It can't be, okay, well, I lend you money and I can just charge you any rate of interest. There must be some guidelines, some standards, some criteria.
There's a banking act that gets guidelines from the central bank.
Right.
So then they have the rates.
No, but
then you have the Cooperative Act that has guidelines from the Cooperative Act.
Right.
But high purchase, I'm looking at you see, because I'm this kind of person that says, well, boy, we're in an economy, we live in democracy, I not believe no dictatorship, people have rights. and they have the right to information. Why did somebody not join a credit union to get money cheaper? Why they could not borrow from a friend? They would do higher purchase. These are decisions people make. And throughout all the Western world, they'll always have higher purchase companies. They have loan sharks. They have all those persons because of persons who cannot manage their pockets properly. Follow me? So therefore, I'd have said to this guy if he came to me, said, "Wait, that's what you paid." That's all. Let me tell you. If you work in join, you have a savings, etc. Save your money to buy because higher purchase. That is what it is about.
It's a killer.
Yeah, but I think the act will be addressing some of these things too, because in section 7 of the act and number 7 says about unfair or unjust transactions and so on, that you cannot enforce something on the person. Let's say, for example, somebody was asking, but I bought something and just because I was one day late, they have added XY, amount. And
these are
on.
issues, consumer issues. For example, like if you buy something high purchase and you've almost paid the total, right? Then does the company have a right to come and reclaim?
Right.
These will be consumer issues, not the fact that you agree to pay the guy 24% interest.
And at the end of the day, you don't want to
because
pay
you
that.
have a written contract.
We have a call. Good evening, caller. Please go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Interesting topic.
Thank you.
I have a question. There is a late fee that some consumers put on. I want to know if that is legal.
What she said?
A late fee
late
that some
fee.
consumers put on. Not consumers,
Right.
but
Supplier.
merchants.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I was just talking about.
Thank you, caller. They'll answer.
That's exactly what I just spoke about. That all these things will be addressed in the consumer act that will be enforced.
Now, what she was asking, is it legal? Because, like the banks, we know that the banks, they have all kinds of, as far as I'm concerned, ridiculous fees that they attach to, doing business with them. Are these really, for example, I know that one bank charges a $3 maintenance fee if your account falls under a certain threshold.
100.
What is the bank maintaining?
Click on this one. I am personally affected. I've actually talked to an attorney because a bank wrote me a letter in December. My said, how do you call it? Dormant account? You have a dormant account, $10. Minor fee, $20. If you decide to save your money in a bank, you have $500 to get 2% interest. Why must you? What is wrong with that? These are form of savings.
Right.
Instead of putting money under the mattress, you put it in a bank. The bank uses your money, your $500, to lend to
Exactly.
person to make money. So therefore, they're taking $20 from your money. I have a problem with that. I'm thinking I'm going to write to the central bank. I have complained, verbally to the officer, the central bank. I have a lawyer. I talked to a lawyer about it. My friend David Jordan mentioned it to me. There are a few persons are interested, not even NCA point of view, but from my own point
I am
of view,
interested as well.
I am pursuing it.
I guess that's where we get strength in numbers, because I'm sure there are a number of other people who have similar issues, because I'm saying if I'm saving my money in a financial institution and my level falls below a certain threshold, what are you maintaining then that you're not maintaining when it's above that threshold?
Exactly.
What do you have to do more?
Barclays Bank came with this one to tell about if it goes below a certain threshold. But what is happening now? If you have $1,000 and there's no activity on it, they are saying it is dormant, and they take $10 from your account and $20 from it to write to you and say it's dormant. I know the law when I was in Treasury many years ago. You have to have an account for 14 years, there's nothing happened to it, and they would send it to the Treasury and say it's dormant because they don't know if you're there, whatever happened, etc. Not taking off from your money, because putting money for savings, especially there are some periods when deposits is deposits 3%, savings 2.5%. I have a right to put my money in the bank and say, well, I'm getting savings, I'm getting interest, I'm earning interest. So who are you to take out my money? And that, I mean, I hope there are attorneys, lawyers listening tonight that could come and advise us at the NCA.
And talking about your hours of operation, I mean, they don't seem viable. You know, you open from 10 to 1 o'clock. But how can consumers be adequately represented when your hours of operation are so short?
Clinton, look the form to join. Clinton, we have a retired lady, a retired public officer. I'll mention name, Veronica Ford, and a young lady who's unemployed at this moment in time, who comes to assist us. And all they could give us is this time, these 3 hours. And I said earlier, when I'm available, I stay until 3, 4, right? When I'm there. But those people, that's the time they could give us. Huh? These are volunteers. We don't have money to pay paid staff. That is why we are pleading for the public, people like you, to join. So if 1,000 members, we'll have $30,000, from which we can pay persons, from which we could produce, flyers, magazines, to educate the public. You know what I mean? It is what comes first, right? How are we going to do it? We need the money to do the programs, the educational programs that we have in mind. We need the money. I mean, when people tell me what can NC do for you? How can I take class action if I don't have no money? We can't take class action against nobody. We need to come together so we can do it. So that is why I'm inviting everybody to join the NCA.
Now, it could be frustrating as well. You know, if you have a complaint and you've gone there, the office is closed. You know, you go there some of the time, the office is closed. Are there other ways of making complaints? Do you have an online form?
We have the phone number for the NCA office is 452-2723. That's an answering machine. So therefore, if you make a complaint, you leave the message there, we'll get it. But at least we still want persons to come in to fill out the complaints form, right? So that we know exactly that you have a fixed signature and you are saying that is what you're complaining of.
Well, we have a technological age. We're in a technological age. What about the internet? What about setting up a website and having people operate through there?
Well, we need the money, Clinton, to do that. Because
volunteers, you have a number of people with expertise who would be probably willing to volunteer that expertise to assist consumers island-wide by developing a website and giving you the back end into it so you can just manage the content of it and take it from there.
Okay, fine, all that, but we still need the money to be able to, after we have gotten your complaint and so on, if we have to take the matter to court, we need the monies to assist. Although we have some lawyers that are helping us on the side, but at the same time, you have needs and wants that you have to take care of. The electricity bill must be paid, the telephone and the water and so on in the office must be paid. So we're asking people to join us so that we have the strength to be able to do what we need to do, to represent them. And we are not getting paid, none of us.
That was a good way to end. 10 seconds, closing.
Well, thanks for having us here tonight. And I'll still make my plea to St. Lucian consumers to join the NCA. We need the funds to carry out the educational programs. We are not a court, so we cannot take action against people. We're not blaming dictatorship. At this point in time, it's still persuasion where we will make representation. The advent of the act, when it comes into force, we'll have a board in place that could hear us. So it will be cheaper for us than going to court. And we welcome the government's proposal for the act. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much. Have you had your closing remarks, Mr. Piaro?
Well, my closing remarks is just to say a few words in Creole. Nous commandons tout le monde pour venir pour à toute organisation pour aider nous, pour nous ça aider yo. Et c'est ça qui est important. Parce que si nous pas ni force yo, nous pas ça faire, nous pas ça faire.
Well said, well said. Marius Modeste, PRO of the NCA, and the President, Kingsley St. Hill, we thank you so much for being part of Newsmaker Live this evening to discuss this very important topic. Next week, we'll have the newly minted